Hi, my name is Julie Garrett, and today I want to speak to you about a business communication topic that I'm very passionate about. It's effective leadership and what makes up a successful leader. Like me, you may have actually had some misconceptions about leadership, so I'd like to go over those misconceptions with you and then educate you on what makes up effective leadership so that you can use it to maximize your own leadership potential. The topics that we're going to discuss today include the rising rates of leadership failures, emotional intelligence, we'll touch on the 6 styles of leadership, go over why good leaders fail, and then finally touch on everyday leadership. So let's go ahead and let's start with 5 common misconceptions. First being that leaders are born. Actually, this isn't true. It's not like something you're born with, like a personality trait or having brown eyes, for example. Leaders are actually made. Okay, this is a skill that's acquired, so that would absolutely indicate that leaders are made. Leaders are charismatic, and well, it is sometimes true that they are. It's really not about being charismatic or winning people over or being the most popular. It's actually about a deep-rooted set of morals and integrity and passion for what you're doing and making sure that you see it through and influence people to get behind your cause. Leaders don't have to work, they just delegate. Well, true, they absolutely do delegate in order to get people behind them and get the work done. The fact is that no one, and I repeat, no one works harder than the leader. Number 4, leadership is an ability given to only a few. Again, not true. Anyone in any walk of life, any color, any culture, doesn't matter, has the ability and potential to be a leader. It's all about the tools that they use and develop in order to make that happen. And then finally, only adults can be leaders. Again, not true. There is no age prerequisite on leadership. Some people may actually think that, oh, the youth of today is actually our leaders of the future. I'm saying no, simply not true. They too can be the leaders of today. So with that, let's go on to the rising rates of leadership fails. First of all, according to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, the number of CEO departures in the United States are now on the rise again. And with the cost of failed leadership assignment, and this is huge, by the way, it goes well beyond the direct cash costs incurred by companies. So why is it that when companies are actually acquired, for example, why do you think it is that the CEOs are the first to get fired? It's actually because they have no emotional intelligence. They actually have identified personality traits that are actually causing them to be part of the problem and actually fail. And this could stem from being arrogant or volatile or being a perfectionist, for example. But these are many of the root causes. It's not about missing forecasts or missing the mark. It's actually about how they choose to react and what bad traits they are using that actually cause that failure. So with that being said, let's talk about emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is key to effective leadership. And while we typically identify leadership with traits such as intelligence and toughness and determination and basically vision in order to require that success, these are all true, but it's just simply insufficient. So what makes emotional intelligence key is that all of these things are absolutely imperative in order to be effective. They have to be self-aware, they have to learn to self-regulate, they have to be able to motivate, they have to have empathy, not sympathy. This is very important. And finally, they actually have to have social skills so that they can connect with people and get them to join their cause. So the 6 styles of leadership, according to Daniel Goleman in his book Primal Leadership, he found that leaders actually use 6 styles. So the first is commanding, which demands immediate compliance. Visionary, which mobilizes people towards a vision. Affirmative, which creates harmony and builds emotional bonds. Democratic, which forges consensus through participation. Pace setting, which sets high standards for performing. And finally, coaching, which develops people for the future. So let's go through then what actually makes a successful leader. What does their anatomy look like? First of all, if we look here at this diagram, they use their head to think things through and to solve problems and make reasoned decisions. So basically they're doing it based off of facts, not just feelings. Also, they use their ears, and they do this to truly listen to what is being said around them, but also to understand and hear what's not actually being said. They use their mouth, their lips, and their voice in order to encourage and inspire and to get results. They also use their heart. Over here, they use their heart to connect with people, and they show empathy, not sympathy. And people want to know that their leaders actually care about them. They actually use their strong backbone to help them perform high moral actions for values, and they do this regardless of fear or risk of self-interest or even unpopularity. Their eyes, they do this to watch and notice what's going on around them. Their hands, they basically aren't afraid to get dirty. They will jump in and they'll help out their team no matter what the cost in order to get the job done. Their fingers, they use a soft touch so that they could stay in close proximity and keep their fingers on the pulse of the organization. Their shoulders, they use this to support the responsibility that goes with being a leader and to support their team so that they and their organization can thrive. And then also their feet. They use their feet so that they can walk forward and lead their team, but they also are smart enough to know when to stop and follow. So with all of this being said, let's recap real quick. We learned essentially about the rise of CEOs and why they're failing. We learned about emotional intelligence. We learned about the common misconceptions of leadership. We learned why good leaders fail. We learned about the anatomy. And finally, let me leave you with what everyday leadership is. So everyone has the potential to be a leader. It doesn't matter if you're a CEO of an organization. It doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom. We all possess the potential. So it doesn't matter what position you're in, because it's not about position, it's about integrity, it's about passion. So in any walk of life, you have the ability to be a leader. So I encourage you and leave you with this thought. Find your passion, discover your authentic true self, share your knowledge with others, be empathetic, lead by example, and you will soon too find that you have the influence to encourage others to change. And those are all traits of being a successful leader. Thank you so much for your time.